So welcome again to this next video where now we're going to focus on chapter 4, the findings. So here I definitely recommend to have subsections where I think you should start with quantitative findings. And in quantitative findings, maybe I can use the good assignment to show you what has to be done. And I think I already said it in lecture 7 about reporting findings. But you need to start with maybe again I said it I say that I think in the lecture too that maybe you need like paragraphs like introductory paragraph to the chapter and to the section, and then start with descriptive statistics where you describe in one paragraph interesting aspects about this data that you already have from quant. Then discuss the correlation matrix also like in one paragraph is enough, and I think what they did is also good, so you can use this as a kind of benchmark. And then discuss your regression analysis with the three models. And I don't want to repeat myself from what I said in lecture 7, but you have to discuss every test that we did. So you go step by step, first the model fit, then the R-square, then the multicollinearity test, and then the significance of the variable and its sign, and what is the conclusion from that model. So discuss that in here and finish with the overall conclusion. If it is full support, full reject, partial support, blah, 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 all the different combinations that we have. Then I think 4.2, the next section, subsection, should definitely be on the qualitative findings. And in here, I don't want to tell you a lot because I think Brian probably told you many things about qualitative aspects, but explain what is that, how and why things work in this complex situation, this complex relationship. Because in quant, you are being very simple and very direct and conclusive. This is what happens is we agree with, we support, we reject, blah, blah. It's very straightforward. But in here, you have to have a narrative to convince it. You need to include a certain quote. You probably need to add as an appendix your data structure table, additional quotes if you can. And again, I think Brian probably told you a lot of good points. And then again, following Brian's ideas, I think it's Brian ideas. I think that qualitative model is also good to include, and I think they did in the good example. I think at the end of this, they discuss their new model, which no, they discuss it in the discussion. So I think they didn't discuss the model openly, but I think it could be a good idea to discuss the model in more detail. Like maybe in qualitative findings, you discuss the concepts and the mechanisms, and then in the model, you put it all together. But again, I think maybe Brian told you better than me, so it's better if you follow him. And finally, you can finish with a short final subsection with overall findings. So once you combine the quant and the qual, what is the overall finding of this? Is it that the relationship exists and then you exist or not? And then did you bring like an explanation to that, or the relationship is not clear, but the qualitative explanation is clear? What is kind of the overall finding? What's the overall learning from this? And then also discuss maybe if the results contradict each other, because that could be a possibility, or do they complement each other, quant and qual? So that will be interesting to read this final short subsection. And then after that, we have the discussion. So in the discussion, I think it's very linked to lecture 9 on theorizing, but I will still write a short video later on. But I just want to close this video mentioning that in the finding section, you don't need many references. If you want, you can use a few because maybe you want to refer to a concept or you want to like recover something from the literature in the qualitative part. And in the quantitative part, you probably need references to justify why these numbers make sense. I will also publish that in the group assignment page, but that's enough. So basically, you don't need that many references in this finding section, which is, like I said in lecture 9, is the opposite from discussion. In discussion, you need much more. So that's it for chapter 3 and chapter 4, especially chapter 4, which is what this video is about. I will do more the two last chapters next week, but I think that is useful for now, I think. So that's it. I think you are ready to finish writing until chapter 4 and probably start writing chapter 5 without many issues. So see you and let me know if you have questions.